Prize Institute scholar, Fox News contributor, and former chief speechwriter for President George W. Bush. Mark, good to see you tonight. You know, it's a complicated story, but we all remember the very devoted fight. And I remember her being under house arrest, and she would, lean over the fence at the end of her driveway to talk to people, and they would shake her hands. So she got out thanks to the support of Hillary Clinton, of President Obama, and as you point out, Senator Mitch McConnell very involved, the Bush is very involved. And now she is in this position where people are looking at her and saying, are you a great humanitarian and leader of democracy?
Yeah, it's very sad to see this unfolding because she truly was a great hero of democracy. She spent, as you said, 15 years under house arrest demanding free elections, won the right to free elections, became the leader of her country. And so you have this minority called the Rohingya, who are, they're called the world's most oppressed minority. Burma is a Buddhist majority country, and they are a hated Muslim minority in that country. They suffered decades of repression under the military dictatorship. They thought things would get better under democracy, and instead what's happening is ethnic cleansing. You have had 500,000 of these, the Rohingya have been driven out of their villages, 63 villages burned to the ground according to Human Rights Watch, parents being shot in front of their children, rape, sexual torture, destruction of villages, and this is all happening in a government that she heads. So she's not directly responsible. She's not ordering these things, but she is not speaking out against them. In fact, she's making excuses for them, and it's terribly disappointing.
Yeah. But the Trump administration is now choosing to speak out quite forcefully about this. What's the significance of that?
Well, first of all, good for Vice President Mike Pence for giving that very strong statement. The United Nations, Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, has called this ethnic cleansing, which is exactly what it is, and said it has to stop. And they're not just words, they're actions. They're sending $34 million in emergency humanitarian relief to these suffering Muslims who are being persecuted in their country. So it's very important on a couple of levels. One, it's really important to send a message around the world that just because the Trump administration is taking measures to protect our national security, when it comes to the travel ban or when it comes to refugees, it doesn't mean that the United States doesn't stand with Muslims around the world who are being oppressed. And, ISIS and al-Qaeda would love nothing better than to be able to say, look at what's happening to these poor Muslims, and the West did nothing. So it's sending that message around the world, which is extremely important.
Absolutely. Marc Thiessen, thank you very much. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Quick break and more of the story when we come back.